Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. And we have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's gonna be none other than the BC bot himself. It is BenBot. And taking on BenBot, it is the late game Master Zerg Caninana. And yeah, Caninana is a very fun to watch Zerg bot. It's just got the best spellcaster usage, I think, out of any bot out there. And so these two should have a very good match here today. We are on Thunderbird, the AI edition. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, as always, you guys blow it out of the water with your likes and your comments. So if we could get a like on this video, that would be amazing. If we can get one like for every HP on this SCV, that would be pretty cool. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches. And then subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can click that bell icon to get notified whenever you want to see a new video. And then, yeah, join the Discord, which is linked down below. I feel like I don't shout that out enough. We've got Caninana going for a drone pull plus some cool drone micro in order to attack this. I'm surprised the drones aren't getting caught up on each other too much, but it is a very successful drone pull defense by Caninana. Does cost lots of mining time, and it is interesting that the drones go grab minerals before heading back to the main. We also see 2 spine crawlers being built by Caninana, so a very serious reaction by the bot in the face of this threat. However, Caninana has got a spawning pool out now. It's also got a roach warren on the way, so it is really taking this rush seriously. But with a couple of lings on the way and the spine crawlers already out, I think it should be fine. I'm curious if the spine crawlers will reposition once this natural base is done, as that's of course a much more effective location for them to be at. One of them does head down to build there, although we only see one queued up, so I wonder if they're going to try and plant on the same location. Meanwhile, a couple Zerglings coming forward. Yeah, just one spine crawler tries to plant where the other one plants, so maybe it needs like a check to prevent something like that. We do have drones being pulled into the fight once again. Now this spine crawler is repositioning in a very good spot that it should be able to hit that bunker, potentially kill the SCV before it's built. And if it can do that, that would be really, really good. The other spine is having a bit of a tough time figuring this one out. One SCV actually does make it inside that bunker, but spine crawlers, they actually do have one more range than Marines in bunkers. For those of you that didn't know, in StarCraft 2, units get +1 range when they're inside a bunker. So Marauders would be able to shoot that spine crawler because they'd have the 6+1, but the Marines cannot do that. So quite a solid defense by Caninana. A very Caninana defense, if that makes any sense, because it sacrifices a lot of economy in order to have this very solid defense that it basically holds 100%. And then it can just play the late game out against its opponent. We see how few drones are inside the main base right now. There's quite a few at the natural, but the main, very, very desolate. Meanwhile, BenBot does have up its own natural command center, happily mining, starting to drop mules, so having a nice economic advantage from this opening. That's what BenBot does. Like, and it wasn't like BenBot killed a ton of units. In fact, it's just killed one Zergling. But in forcing Caninana to build 2 spines, to pull drones, it caused a huge, huge economic advantage. And we'll just see if Caninana can macro its way out of this one. Caninana is very, very good when it comes to building out its economy slowly and then just playing it safe and dominating in the late game. BenBot is kind of the same, but maybe a little bit more efficient because of this opening. Like, BenBot does already have that 3rd command center on the way. It's got an SCV that's a little bit lost as he heads over there, but now I'm not sure where he's going, so we'll just follow this guy for a minute, see what he gets up to. And yeah, just scouting out, so that is interesting. BenBot is also a bit of a Widow Mine fan, that sometimes it does like to plant Widow Mines at expansions. We'll see if it does that against Caninana. I cast a game earlier, or the other day, with Deimos actually having quite a tough time dealing with that. So I'm curious if it'll do it against Zerg, or if it's just a Protoss thing. But regardless, we have the one important structure on the way, the fusion core. And yeah, maybe that means we'll get battle cruisers when we get fusion. If that ever becomes a thing. It's just 10 years away, guys. Although I'm not sure we'd want that if it meant we also got space aliens. Which I guess is where all aliens are from. Because I guess it depends what the definition of an alien is. I'm pretty sure it means it's something from another world. So I guess they don't have to be from space. They could be from, like, another dimension. An alternate Earth. And then they'd still technically be aliens? Maybe? I don't know. Let me call Oxford. Anyway, we have got a planetary fortress on the way now for BenBot, with a siege tank getting set up. Thunderbird is a very wacky map. It's actually the map that my bot has the worst win rate on, unfortunately, so I may have to look into that. But I think it's partly because my bot, or some bots anyway, take the third base, and then my bot tends not to see it as quickly, so they kind of get away with that. BenBot really does have Fort Knox, though, with these bunkers, the siege tanks, the Widow Mines. It's in a very safe position. Now, does it need to be so safe against Caninana? Probably not, as the Zergbot is just chilling, macroing up, going up to 4 bases. We'll see when Caninana spots that battle cruiser, whether it has a solid response to it, or whether, say, BenBot teleports it into the opponent's base. We do have Lings being produced by Caninana. It's been a bit Ling heavier these days, I think. We're also getting 1/1 upgrades on the way. That's quite important. BenBot is just getting +1 armor presently, but a second armory is on the way now. Overseers do actually pad a little bit too close to the bunkers, which is unfortunate. I'm wondering if that's because they're queued to go to the center point of the bunker. I think that's exactly what's happening for Caninana here. And by going into the center point, since bunkers are actually 3 hexes wide, they actually go sort of 1 hex closer, which is within shooting range of the bunker, which is not ideal. So that could potentially be an adjustment that Caninana could have made in order to save itself some overseers. It's only lost 2, but every little bit helps. And that's one of the things you have to decide as a bot author, or at least as a good bot author. You got to say, right, what am I going to prioritize? Because you could spend as much time as you want obsessing over a little thing that might not have much of an effect on your bot's win rate. Alright, we've got Infestors on the way for Caninana, Neural Parasite about to finish up, so those will definitely be useful against battle cruisers, so just getting those out nice and quickly, and then not making much else. Like, it's only got 4 roaches, 24 lings. Okay, lots of spores are now going up for Caninana, so it must have seen that battle cruiser. Probably the Overseers popping in have seen it, and that is exactly what has tipped Caninana off, that it wants to build this kill zone, the Spore Crawler Forest, which is just next level, and could mean bad news for BenBot's battle cruisers. This is something that I've kind of wondered whether Terran could potentially counter, and I think BenBot is exploring that by going for things like Ghosts, by having Ravens with all of its units, well, with its BCs to help it potentially Yamato cannon down those Infestors before it gets teleported across the map, because a battle cruiser cannot be teleported while it's issuing a Yamato cannon command. I personally think it would be cool, something to maybe explore, having the BCs burn their teleport, just like teleporting to the same spot so then they can't be neural parasited and thrown onto a bunch of spore crawlers. I know BCs without teleport is not as ideal, but at the same time, oh no, BenBot commits suicide. Oh no, the battle cruisers show up in the completely wrong spot. I don't know if this was just bad luck or a perfect blind counter by Caninana. That was so good. Oh no, BenBot commits suicide as it issues a teleport, hoping to snipe some bases or get some worker kills, but Caninana completely blind countered that. Now, I'm not sure if that's like a hard counter to BenBot to be like, hey, BenBot teleports the BCs here. I think that's just, maybe one of the bot authors could let me know, but I think it might just be bad luck. As that, because Caninana always sets up these killing zones once it sees battle cruisers, but the bot author is really taking this seriously. Like, they built, oh gosh, that is quick maths, 13 spore crawlers. That is a ridiculous amount. That is more than usual, I want to say. So maybe it is like an anti-BenBot thing and we're watching this arms race go down, but we can actually check when Caninana and BenBot were last updated. Looks like Caninana was last updated February 20th, so it's not been too long or anything like that. But yeah, I think that's probably just a coincidence, and that's a bit unfortunate. We do have BenBot getting up a large amount of bases right now as it goes to land its 6th base on location, turning that into a planetary. Now, BenBot is building up an incredible mineral bank too, so it's really being bottlenecked by gas. So let's just go for a quick check, make sure all the gas mining is proper, and it seems that it is. It's just building simply so much tech. Ravens cost a lot of gas upgrades. Meanwhile, Caninana is being a nuisance with its swarm hosts. Battle cruisers are still getting neural parasited. We've already had 3 go down, so the first 2 suiciding, and then 1 more getting teleported onto the spore crawlers. So this could be a bit of a womp womp for BenBot if it just keeps losing these spore crawlers or losing these battle cruisers again and again. Now, we see some very cool pathing from Caninana. The bot doesn't want to engage the PF, but it's letting its presence be known. And yeah, this is looking not bad for Caninana, but BenBot still is in a very fine economic position. It's got up 6 bases. Caninana is also on 6 bases, getting up to 6 anyway, so even base count is quite important. We also have had the Zerg now commit onto this planetary. Pardon me for missing that. These bot games get a little bit hectic to observe at times, but I do appreciate feedback on this kind of thing. And let's see here. We've got BenBot attempting to take a base in the upper right. Lings seem focused on this planetary, so they're not going to block it. That's quite nice. The SCV distribution definitely matters for BenBot. It's got 81 SCVs out, but having those SCVs at the outer planetaries is more important because they're more likely going to die as Caninana commits onto bases. The Zerg is really splitting up its army right now, though. It's got it's just Zerg from top to bottom, pretty much, just poking the bases of the opponent. There is still Swarm Host running around, tossing out Locust Waves. I don't think they're exactly getting a ton of kills, as BenBot is going into a heavy bio style with, it's even got a Medivac out, it's getting out Marines, and when I say heavy, I just mean it's getting out 2/2 upgrades, which is quite an investment for a bot that we think of as a bit of a mech bot, but BenBot does like its bio here. And this game is really, really getting going as BenBot does secure up a 7th base. That's quite important. Personally, a development that I want to see from Terrans in both the pro scene and in the bot scene, I'm not sure which one more, is for bot authors to program their bots to, or just human players, to build double planetary fortresses. Maybe 1-2 hexes away from each other, just to make it so that if Zerg commits onto that planetary, it's going to be more costly. They're going to need more supply because, like, Terrans just have a mineral surplus. BenBot, it has got 4,000 minerals in the bank. It could spend 1,600 and potentially build 2 new command centers just next to the planetary, or just float them over. And then Caninana would be way less likely to take these locations out. Maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but I think it's something worth exploring because, and I think it will eventually become meta at some point, because we have had Terrans build planetaries like on top of ramps and stuff in the past to lock locations down, but I'd like to see it consistently done at these bases because, yeah, like, it's Terrans lose games Yamato Cannon goes down, by the way, kills that Infestor, saves that BC, so that is BenBot's anti-Infestor play. All I'm saying is Terrans, when they lose bases, they lose games, so I think it's worth making that extra investment, because right now we are seeing BenBot coming on in, or having to deal with some Lings coming on in. A second Planetary Fortress would definitely help out here. Kill the Lings quicker, save more SCVs, and that kind of thing. Anyway, we do have the Terran bot pushing forward, battle cruisers taking damage and teleporting out. There is Infestors that are going for this one. He fortunately does not get hit with that Neural Parasite and stays alive. Vikings, meanwhile, kiting Corruptors, as BenBot does have nice air upgrades heading into 3-3 for its ships, whereas Caninana, being the Zerg, it does take longer to get up those upgrades, just starting Carapace now for the Infestors, so BenBot has got a nice upgrade lead presently. Lots of SCVs are getting targeted down by Caninana, and then we do have BCs taking damage and teleporting out, but as there is like 3 or 4 battle cruisers present, or consistent scans or detection from Ravens, avoiding the Infestors does... well, it seems to be going quite well for BenBot right now. And yeah, let's just see here. BenBot is attempting to secure up another base. It's got to clear out this creep. This is something that BenBot has struggled with in the past, because these tumors are at the absolute maximum distance in order to block this location. BCs are pushing into Caninana's base, though. BenBot's gas mining has really plummeted. And oh... that's actually got to be, well, I guess it's short on minerals and actually has a bit of a gas bank right now, so BenBot has elected to, and it's got very good programming in order to manage its resources, so having a bit of a mineral surplus, or a bit of a gas surplus, it decides just to mine minerals. We have seen, well, there's been 5 dead battle cruisers. I haven't caught every single one that's died, as BenBot attempts to take another base. This game is just getting so crazy as the Zerg is... it's got a ridiculous line of creep tumors. If we look at Caninana's vision, it's just a green line. BCs are pushing in once again. Transfuses by Caninana are allowing these queens to get some okay efficiency. They've got +3 attacks, so they're actually dealing decent damage to the battle cruisers, all things considered, seeing as how they're queens, which are kind of a joke in that regard. BenBot, though, still struggling to free up this location. I'm wondering if this is intentional by the bot author of Caninana. Probably not, because, like, if this was something new, like, if Caninana had just been updated, I might have thought this is just something new. It might just be a happy coincidence that these creep tumors are placed at the maximum distance away from the base, because lots of Terrans, like BenBot, simply have a Raven on patrol dropping down auto turrets, and that is a rather effective way to deal with the expansion blocking, but it's not perfect, as we're seeing BenBot being unable to secure up that base in a game that the more bases you have, the more likely you're going to win. It's that simple. BCs are pushing forward. They are getting some okay, actually pretty good cost efficiency against Caninana as we pull that up. It's 14,000 to 24,000, so it's really quite incredible for BenBot that it's actually trading this well despite losing some battle cruisers. The Infestors of Caninana maybe are a bit afraid. Well, they're actually short on energy right now. And it is still just 5 dead BCs. A Viking will die.
Assimilation successful. Assimilation successful.
Okay, Neural Parasite does catch that battle cruiser, so it gets sent straight to hell. We've got a comical amount of creep tumors built up here for Caninana, so that's an interesting blip in the programming. Creep is continuing to be pushed out a little bit here. Another battle cruiser gets hit with a Neural Parasite, so that's going to be another one dead. Yes, its teleport is off cooldown, tactical jump being the word, and then it gets sent straight to the killing zone, which is not good for the Terran. That's a very pricey loss, and resources lost have closed up a little bit. It's now 20,000 to 27,000 about, but BenBot, it is also important to note that resources spent on repair do not show up in resources lost until that structure or unit dies. So for example, any repair put into this planetary, that's got a good amount of kills, by the way, let's see, can we see? 91 kills. Like, this PF has probably taken some damage this game, so the resources on that does not get seen. This planetary actually does manage to land, or this command center manages to land and potentially turn into a planetary. This is massively important because, yeah, I think this is... Is this the last? This is the last base that BenBot needs to take in order to have 50% of the map. So these two bots are just having a constant engagement. And this is looking good for BenBot as it's got, well, it's been trading better and now it's establishing a better economy. And Caninana just doesn't seem to be breaking these bases. It's going to try with the Zerglings. Yeah, dealing some damage to the planetary, targeting down a few of the SCVs with the Cracklings. And that is what they are, 3/3 Zerglings. Cost efficiency may improve for Caninana as upgrades get researched for the air units, but there is presently just 3 Corruptors out, so it's not building like an Eris amount of Corruptors. Caninana may need to start respecting the battle cruisers a bit more. Neural Parasite does catch one, but there's the scan by BenBot. I think that's like an instant reaction when there's at least a couple battle cruisers present, or maybe any time a Neural gets used, because that scan was instant, it kills the Infestor, and it saves that battle cruiser's life. It's very, very good programming to counter that. And it really shows that BenBot is a bot that receives lots of active development and plays. And it's really showing. Like, I'm not sure I've seen a game from BenBot, at least against Caninana, which it has been able to keep so many BCs alive, secure so many bases. And so all the work the developer is putting in may definitely be a part of this, to be having seemingly a better result than usual. Like, in a game like this, I traditionally would have thought that Caninana was the favorite, but things are looking quite good for BenBot right now, as the Zerg is just losing more and more resources. I think Caninana's composition is hurting it a little bit. Like, Roaches and Lings are good, they have their place, but presently, like, I think Caninana needs some more anti-air. And the Infestors are not cutting it. Like, there's a few Corruptors out, but that's not good enough. This does make me want to cast a BenBot versus Eris game after this one, just to sort of compare how the two Zergs do against BenBot, maybe even on Thunderbird, just to check out the maps and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you do enjoy these botcasts, leave a comment down below saying more bots. If you want to support this content, these longer casts, consider becoming a YouTube member. There's just a join button right by the channel profile, or in the description down below, as there's various perks you can get with that. Or if you also want to support the website that makes all these games possible, all these games are ran through AIarena.net, and they do have a supporter program. I support it so I can get the good casts, request games if I want to. That's one of the features they have there. And then I also use it to request games from my bot when I've been testing it out. Okay, so Caninana definitely needs to kill a base of BenBot, but we've yet to see that materialize, as the BCs for BenBot are just constantly fighting. That's exactly what this game is, just non-stop fights between these two bots. Like, since the action started, it has not stopped. The trades have just been looking so good for BenBot, though Caninana has thrown away 500 Lings. That is a lot of resources for minimal damage. Like, this planetary's killed 138 of them, which is quite impressive. BenBot, though, securing up these bases has been very, very good for it, as the Zerg is just running around, Roaches and Lings on the ground against what is 10 battle cruisers. So unless Caninana starts adjusting its composition based on what it's seeing, I think it's going to have a very tough time in this game. Like, it's losing Roaches and it's rebuilding Roaches. I think the time for those Roaches has passed in this game, and there is still 4 Swarm Hosts running around, maybe getting a bit of efficiency. Yeah, working on some turrets, that kind of thing. Yeah, so BenBot isn't taking, like, ridiculously good trades. It's simply taking better trades, as resources lost still look quite good for the Terran. And so Caninana will need to do something in order to come back in this game. I'm not sure what it is. Usually for Zerg, it's either trade better or kill the Terran's bases. And so far, Caninana has been unsuccessful in both of these things. I definitely think that at least the Ling harassment needs to go. Like, Roach harassment would maybe do better, but we do have this potential adjustment by BenBot, or just smart decision making, to have 3 turrets at every base, so they can't just be targeted down, so then roaches can't just burrow and run away. So that probably helps the efficiency of BenBot as far as actually killing these roaches. Like turrets, well, Ravens are doing a good job tracking that roach, but there's turrets too. So this bot author has put a lot of thought into this matchup as Caninana continues to feed units into the grinder. BenBot's bank continues to grow. Lings are trying to target down some SCVs, but again, they're just not getting the efficiency that they need. The Raven usage is great for BenBot, staying on top of those burrowed units. Meanwhile, we have got more Yamato cannons killing off corruptors. Caninana probably needs more corruptors. Like, it's just staying at, like, well, it has 0 right now, but it's only building 2 more. And yeah, things are looking really great for BenBot. This is quite a development. I don't think I've ever seen BenBot win so commandingly, or at least be in the lead so commandingly. At the current trajectory, though, BenBot will win this game. It's got more resources in the bank. It's trading more efficiently. Caninana has got, well, it's got some decently fresh bases still. Just it needs to change up its composition, but at this point, I don't think it's going to. It's making more Hydras that are fighting the BCs and doing very, very poor at it, because if you're going to fight BCs with Hydras, you need like 20 grouped up or something like that, or spellcasters to support. Yamato Cannon hits the Spore Crawler, that dies. Queens and Hydras are trying to push away the BCs, and again, resources lost does get skewed a little bit by that. We do have a successful Neural Parasite, so like Caninana does strike back a little bit, picking off a battle cruiser. Every unit matters, and it is making a play for this planetary, but SCV's repairing ghosts and the bit of bio on the ground does successfully save this. The Zerg is running Lings around too. They are actually catching transferring SCVs, so this is really, really good for these Zerglings. If they can keep doing that, potentially, that could be a great way to siphon resources away from BenBot, because the trades do need to turn around. Caninana moving on in with its roaches, or at least thinking about it, but there is Ravens, bio, a planetary on the ground. It's a bit too formidable. Now, let's see here. Caninana moves forward. There is an Infestor in the ground. Doesn't have the energy. No, it's about 10 energy away from getting off a Neural Parasite. This BC has no choice but to fly away slowly, as its teleport is on cooldown. 1 turret. Will it be saved? No, it's the less preferred turret as that dies. And now we do have double Neural Parasite going down. Caninana loses, I think, 1 or 2 of the Infestors. And oh, BenBot does save the battle cruiser with another Neural Parasite. Or with another Yamato Cannon, pardon me. So that is the crazy, crazy development that BenBot has had put into it. Let's compare the battle cruisers killed to the Infestors killed in this game. It's 14 to 11. So that is really good when you consider, in the past, BenBot, like, would, say, lose a battle cruiser pretty much, like, 90% of the time, it would seem, but now it's just keeping them alive. Caninana is putting the Infestors forward, seemingly when they're at, like, 90-ish energy, getting them into position. Like, they're popping out, they don't quite have the energy for a Neural, so they're just heading to the front line pretty much right away. As the Zerg is pushing on the right side, bio is pushing out. These roaches are kind of scared of that, retreating, but they're taking some okay trades here. Injured battle cruisers are continuously teleporting back. Caninana has successfully maxed out. Trades aren't really looking any better. However, we do at least have 3-3 for the air finishing up, but I'm not really highlighting that too much. If it was like Eris or something, I'd say, okay, that's more important, because there is only 3 Corruptors out. Transfuses helping out these Hydras and any unit that the Queens can. Corruptors are dealing some damage to the BCs. You'll have to forgive me as I'm just getting a call here. Okay, I apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. Just today is the day of making appointments. So, you know, doctor, dentist, eye doctor, all the things we put off. But yes, let's see here, as we've got Caninana just continuing to make pretty much the same composition. Lings are pathing into the planetary too. They do actually decide to go in this time. They are cracklings, so they're no joke, but for example, the Lings, they aren't exactly prioritizing the SCVs. Some of them are getting some of the SCVs, but definitely not all of them were. Like, some were attacking the PF, some were attacking the turrets, which seems like a bit of an odd split. And let's see here. The 4 Swarm Hosts are still putting in work, doing whatever they can to help out. They probably have got a few kills by now. This one's got 4, not bad. The other one's got 4. And yeah, Caninana is just in quite a rough position here. The composition, I think, isn't going to change. We have a Neural Parasite, but we get an immediate scan by the battle cruisers, watching each other's back. And we may need to see a development from Caninana, because for the longest time, those infestors were pretty fatal to BenBot. Now, though, it would seem that maybe Caninana needs to group up the infestors, like have 2 or 3 together, and then if there's 2 or 3 battle cruisers, Neural Parasite them all. Of course, easier said than done, but if Caninana wants to maintain its dominance as one of the best late game players, adjustments may need to happen. We see it once again. Neural Parasite battle cruiser gets saved by its homies. These BCs are good friends. Lots of damage is being put out on the BCs, and again, I raised the point that resources lost is a little bit misleading, but the banks certainly are not at this point. BenBot may mine out a little bit quicker than Caninana, as it does drop mules, of course. We even have a random corruptor caustic spraying this refinery, but this BC is going to see that away. More BCs pushing out on the map. Caninana sending forward Hydralisks to die en masse to these battle cruisers. Queen's trying to transfuse and help out, but the BCs, they simply teleport out and are fine to fight another day. The ghosts for BenBot are also potentially helping out. I'm not sure they're doing too much, but their presence is definitely worth something. Neural Parasite does go down, but the Infestor dies once more prior to that, so it really shows the strength in numbers approach for the battle cruisers. Another Infestor tries a Neural Parasite. Look at that, instant scan gets dropped. The Infestor does get targeted down, and the BC gets saved. It did deliver a friendly fire to its comrade, but that's definitely still worth it for BenBot. It will take a bit of HP losses for an Infestor kill any day of the week. Caninana's supply is really starting to plummet right now. It's building lots more Infestors, which I think could benefit it. Like, if it just made like 20 Infestors and did the Neural thing non-stop, grouped up, that may be what it needs. It is producing fewer Lings at this point, which I think is quite important, and as they have just been a large money sink, we've seen 766 die. 201 Hydras definitely hurts. Meanwhile, BenBot's biggest loss has been the SCVs, and yeah, the Zerg is just slowing down, now starting to run out of resources. 150 supply is all that Caninana has got. It's mining a little bit still, it's producing Hydralisks, and it does seem to have a cap on 4 Infestors, despite having a very, very large gas bank, so maybe that number needs to be played with or something. We do see 1 Neural, but there's the instant scan, 2 Neurals. However, the Yamato cannons are already queued up. There's another one. Looks like that Neural did actually get a kill on the BC, but again, that's 3 battle cruisers, or 3 dead Infestors for 1 battle cruiser, so absolutely worth it for BenBot. Caninana remakes some of the Infestors, but we do see that this composition is seemingly capped at 4 Infestors, so maybe that needs to be more in a situation where it's spending lots of money on Lings, or spending lots of minerals, that it has surplus gas. That could kind of balance things out. The Zerg is getting aggressive moving forward, as BenBot was bringing some tanks forward. Those do actually die. It is cool to see that BenBot repositions the tanks. It doesn't just absent-mindedly park them there all game. So I definitely do like that. It's playing playing pretty darn well this match as Caninana continues to fall in supply. And I think we are going to have a BenBot victory at this point. Like, the Zerg's income has just dropped too much. There's simply not enough minerals left as all these bases are mining out. Oh man, even the bottom left is just about gone. BenBot is actually going to mine out slower than Caninana because it's constantly been repairing this base and losing SCVs. So it hasn't successfully mined too much from this one. But yeah, Caninana meeting its match in this game. They are both absolutely incredible bots, the amount of work that has been put into them. And that is one of the curses of being a bot author. If you want your bot, much like being a pro player, if you want to stay on the top, you have got to basically practice or update your bot 24/7. Oh, that BC must have actually got out of there. Good for it. But yeah, it's that thing. Like, BenBot is incredibly consistently updated. It has got, like, every time I check AI Arena, it seems it's got an update, and there's nothing usually glaringly obvious that's been changed in the bot. Just little things have added up over time, and that's why BenBot really is one of the better Terran bots out there, if not the best one, dare I say. I think that's probably accurate. I think it's top of the ladder right now. Caninana continues to fight with queens, but its unit replacement is just not a thing anymore. It's barely mining. Now would be the time to spend all the gas and make 20 infestors and see how that goes, but we are not going to see that, unfortunately. And so, yeah, really well done by BenBot. I think I probably will catch BenBot versus Eris soon, just to sort of see how that match is. Although we've seen them play in the past, and usually Eris gets the better. But again, BenBot is clearly getting updated quite a bit. BCs taking damage, then teleporting out. We can start checking how many kills some of these BCs have. This one at 73, 69, 18, 70, 18, 69. Okay, I think it's sending me through some of the same battle cruisers, but there's one with 90. One or two BCs with 90 kills. That is just ridiculous cost efficiency because only 14 have died against 27 infestors. Lots of units dead on the screen there. This is quite a slow death for Caninana, as BenBot isn't a bot to just go for a Hail Mary across the map. It will bleed Caninana till it's fully out of stuff. But eventually BenBot will push out and save the day, as Caninana is just about out of resources. Just a teeny tiny amount left, like 1,000 minerals maybe. BC's killing spores. 3-3 on battle cruisers is no joke here. The BC's even going after the cursed killing zone. Some of them a little wary of that location maybe. The bio for BenBot definitely does work in these games. Like, I mean, only 99 Marines died and 14 Marauders, but they seem to have quite a good effect on the game. 12 Ghosts died, but they were constantly hugging the planetary, keeping it alive, that kind of thing. So it is cool how BenBot does kind of play that biomech style, getting all the upgrades. Another BC may die, potentially the last one. Caninana fighting to the very end. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, click that like button, leave a comment down below if you haven't already, subscribe, and all that good stuff. You guys always blow it out of the water, and I appreciate that greatly. That's what I appreciate about you. But yes, that is just going to be it. A very slow death for Caninana. Oh, neural parasites going down, but the BCs save themselves and kill all the infestors. Yeah, I think if Caninana maybe made some more infestors, like had a higher cap, and then attack, that may be a counterplay to it. But again, it's like, how much work do you want to put in to counter one Terran bot as Caninana's bot author? That's the question when these bots are a hobby. As I imagine it can be a little bit tedious for some of these things. A slow victory here for BenBot, but it will take it. Having about 8,000 minerals and almost 8,000 gas spare in this match. This refinery, notably, never gets resumed, so I wonder what the deal with that is. That's my question. Did BenBot wait till the 44th minute in the game to bug out? Or will this refinery be rebuilt? Maybe it's mined out or something. I don't know. Anyway, Caninana losing everything. Just a few structures left, and GG. Well done, BenBot.